Alright, welcome back. So today we're on my Arma Outcast 4S. Broke the rear hub. Last time I was out, I was having a blast with the thing and it snapped in the rear. So got some ordered up, $7. Hopefully they're correct. Looking it up when I ordered the parts, that seemed to be the right number, but because Arma makes so many little changes, I didn't know if the 2.5 was different than the 1.0 and the 2.0, and they don't even recognize the 2.5. It was just something, they got rid of the slipper clutch and added a center diff, but they still call it a version 2.0. So that's the problem with some of these parts, because these hobby shops have old stock on some things, and then you don't know if you're getting the latest part, an upgraded part, an old part that didn't work. Just one of those things. Hopefully it works. And the shock shafts for my EXB 8S Outcast came in, so I got all the shocks in a bag. We're going to get that fixed up as well. And then got some shock fluid because I used it all fixing the last shocks. So just going to get some of my Arma stuff fixed up. I seem to have broke all my Armas. Luckily the big rock just pulled out an axle. We were able to fix that real quick. But I'm literally every time going out with these Armas breaking something. It's just a part of the hobby, bashing real hard. But I'm going to, you can see this thing just snapped like crazy. Oh, I forgot I'm going to have to take out this little bearing hub thing. So I like to throw the wheels back on just to hold the hex, and then we'll get this thing unscrewed. I can honestly say I don't think I've worked on this truck other than changing the center diff fluid. I made it a little thicker, I think. Other than that, I haven't really broken anything on this one. So there's a little screw, no Loctite, but it was real tight. So then we can get that off. Should be able to knock the pin out now. I think there's a pin. Yeah, there's a pin. Come on. That thing is in there. That pin was stuck. Now the hex is stuck on there too. Wow. Stuff seems to be corroding in there. There's some corrosion on here. You can see the corrosion buildup. Alright. Get this screw out. Take this broken piece out. I think there's 2 bolts on this, right? Or is there a pin? Might be a pin. Here's a pin. All right. Don't really want to separate the axle. There we go. Bearings feel good. You can see it didn't completely snap off. A little piece still hanging in there. Bearings are dirty. Just dirty on the outside, basically. Bearings feel really good. My hands are super dirty. I've been working all day. Part number AR330522, rear hubs. I believe they're going to be different right and left. I want to say I've changed these before, but yeah, there's a right and a left. So that's the right, this is the left. Does look the same. Bearing fits, that's a good thing. Check our axle while we're here. Slides nice. This plastic guard looks like it's bending back. Like the other side, they got caught in the axle. I think those guards are a little too flimsy. That's something you wouldn't notice until over time of running them. But these guards are literally bending back. This side I think got caught. It might have been this. No, it was the other side, because it marked up the axle pretty good. But a $7 part, you can't complain about that. Little grub screw like Traxxas would do on the X-Max. That's what makes this, oh, and there's an L on it. L, right. So they are marked right and left. That's what I mean about buying two parts. You're going to have one left over. If you break this side again, you're going to end up with a bunch of one side. I want to say I've changed these. I think, I don't know if on my version 1 or what. But I looked for them. I couldn't find any. I think this will slide back on. Yep. At least it's all the same size screw. Nice easy repair. There we go. back together. Yeah, it's a little loose. And you can't get to the bottom ones. Bottom ones look a little loose. But I do like the shock rebuild I did on this. Can't wait to get it back out and run it. I know I threw everything in this box. For my spare shocks. Which shock shaft was bent? This one. So this shock shaft is bent. Can't really tell, but you put it in a drill. You can see the wobble to it, and that makes it stick. 7mm. I do have some m2c pistons, but I think they're for the original shafts. I'm going to go ahead and grab them. We'll be right back. Alright, so here are the shock pistons. You can visit them at www.m2cracing.com. He did include a phone number here. I just called it. I wanted to make sure that these things worked. Here, we'll show this side. 20mm O-rings, part number, and shock pistons. I'm going to peel off this. Apparently, they're not open Saturday or Sunday. These were, like I said, these were sent to me a while ago, and his personal phone number was on here. He answered. Nice, nice, helpful guy. He still helped me even though he wasn't open. I don't know why these things were sent with a phone number on them when it's his personal cell phone, but I appreciate him talking to me, m2c. So these are labeled. The black pistons are for the rear and the front are for the front. So we're going to go ahead and pull the front ones out and the O-rings, because I'm going to just do the front for now, and then we'll get those rear back apart and put these rear in. He says that they are the same even though the piston size had changed. He says these should work wonders on these shocks. Told him I was going to run them with stock shock shafts because I broke the original shock shafts that I got from him. So we're going to go ahead and throw these shock pistons in there because, like I said, I wanted to try changing the valving, and I remember a while back ago, God, this sucks getting these O-rings out of here. Let's see. Wish they were in a Ziploc bag, which I might just stick them in a Ziploc bag. So there's the black. Those are going to be for the rear, and these fronts are black. So let's see out of here. So I'm going to go ahead. White are for the front. These things, this is what I liked about them, is that it has this seal along the edge here. there's slots. Those face down. That's something he said on the phone. Just make sure I put them slots down. Told him I was going to run some thicker fluid. See that O-ring twisted up. Try to just push that in there. There we go. Now it's even all the way around. So let me grab the new pistons. I'll throw these in here. And then the good black ones. And then the M2c part number. So I know what is what. There we go. So here's the one I took out. And what do we have for holes on this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 8 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So 8 holes on this one as well. And he says these slots face down. Shock shafts, ARA 330743. Ziploc baggie. Yep. So got another Ziploc bag I can use. I only need one of these shock shafts, but I might change them both while I'm here. I already spun this one up. This one was perfect. See, it's a little sticky right there, but I might just change them both. So I said that face, oh, so that is the same size. So comment down below, do you think these things will help a lot? I believe they will. I'm really excited about these shock pistons from m2c. Like I said, there's some great upgrades that just make sense, and this one with these shock pistons seem to make sense. There we go. Grab some shock oil. See, I went 50 on the front last time. Yeah, but 60 is the way I really need to go. I'm going to throw some shock oil on this seal. I'm going to see how it fits in the bore. Oh, it feels good on the bore. So the bore size is the same, so Arrma just changed basically these base to put a bigger shock shaft for the EXB. A little sticky at the bottom, but there is no fluid in them. I'm going to throw, actually, let me pop this back out. I'm going to throw a little bit of shock fluid in the base here. Actually, let's go with some O-ring lube. I think will be better, maybe smoother. There we go. That feels pretty good. So I am going to throw this on the base. pressure on this, the whole thing turns. There we go. I'm gonna throw some 60 weight in here. Grab 2 bottles so I can make it 50 and 60. We'll leave it a little down just so it doesn't spill. See, that's way smoother. I can feel the resistance both ways, which on the other ones, I'll show you right now. Let me grab a tire. I'm gonna let that settle in here. So this one just felt like there was no resistance on this. No, it's got to be that front one. And then the slots down, it says 1/4 on that side as well. They fit perfect on there. Oh. I'm going to put a new shock shaft, even though this one wasn't bent. Where is... Oh, it's in the gun, the bent one. I was like, where's the bent one? So you can tell the coating has rubbed off of that one. So this is the new one. There we go. This is shock O-ring grease is what this is, TLR. If you got shocks that are leaking from the base, this stuff works really good. So these O-rings right here, there we go. Let's fill this one up as well. So comment down below, how do you think these pistons are going to work? I've always imagined that they would really fix a lot of the issues. Yeah, see, rebound is really plush. You don't want it going so slow, like collapsing to where it'll bend these shock shafts. I did ask him, can I use them with the stock shock shafts, and he says it would work fine. Like I said, I'd rather my shock shafts bend than snap like the M2c ones I did before. But like I said, I'm sure they've changed some of their designs by now. There we go. So I'm going to let these things bleed out a little bit. And we'll be right back when I'm capping them up. I'm going to let that one sit in the middle. And we're not going to use these. I thought there was a washer on that. Kind of looks like there's metal right there, but there's not. Once the metal is infused, you see that? It looks like a metal piece on both, but they don't pop off. That's the side that faces down. The nut would go against that. Interesting. But at least I know the one with the metal little washer deals, because that's definitely metal, is the top. I'm going to throw the original ones back in the other baggie. And then see, these were the collapsed springs. I can only put one spring on today because these two springs were collapsed. A lot shorter. You can tell 3 different heights. This one's a little taller than this one, and this is a lot taller. These are how tall they should be. Just counting the coils. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, these look like they have one additional coil compared to these two. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, these are the original ones off the standard Outcast. It's like they shortened the coil springs by 1. I wonder why. But I'm going to let those bleed out. We'll be right back. Alright, let's button these things up. other one of these? That's the small shock shaft. Where's the big one? Why am I missing one? This one goes on this shaft. That's weird, because I don't have it on this one. I gotta find the shock shaft. I must have used it on the other one. I couldn't have. I put the wrong one on it, which I think I did. These shocks are going to be ready to go. I'll bring them with me tomorrow. We'll run both Outcasts tomorrow and see if this helps. And then we'll get the rear rebuilt with better shock pistons in it. So shout out to m2c for answering the phone, even though I didn't mean to bother them on Saturday. I didn't know they weren't open. And I didn't realize they put their personal phone number on the parts. That's how early on it was in m2c's career of the company starting, where they actually put their phone number on the parts. There we go. So I need one spring and one of these off. And that pretty much sucked up all the fluid. There is like nothing left in this bottle. Bottle's pretty much empty. Let's see how full this other 60 is. This is a brand new bottle. I'm just gonna take whatever's left over. See, they don't fill them all the way to the top. See, there's quite a bit in there. And shock oils went up. I want to say they're $7.99 now. $7.99 per bottle. $8 per bottle. I remember when they were $4.99. But that's going to do it. We got our shocks rebuilt. That's definitely going to support some weight now. And we'll see how it goes. And we'll keep this one, because this is a good shock shaft, in with the shock pistons. There's our bent one. So we'll toss that one. And that's it. Well, we got the 4S Outcast up and going. We got our shocks rebuilt. Here's my shock rebuild bag. We're going to take this stuff out with us tomorrow. And give the m2c shock pistons a try in your EXB or your regular Outcast, whichever one you have. Apparently those shock pistons work for both. Everything's up and running. So we're going to take out the 4S Outcast, we're going to take out the 8S Outcast, we're going to get those front shocks changed out so the EXB shock shafts are back on it. Like I said, the factory Outcast shocks, they worked. I didn't break them, I didn't bend them, they're still in there working. Like I said, my original Outcast 8S, before the EXB was released, that one did the best out of all my 8S Armas. But the EXB, hopefully we're getting it close. We're going to get these shocks put on, then we're going to rebuild the rear of those shocks, and then put the new m2c shock pistons in it, and we'll go from there. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Get out there, do some RC, do some wrenching, fix your old stuff. Don't need to buy new when you have a bunch of RCs already that are working. There we go. So today, back on another E46. This is a 325 CI. As you can see, intake manifold is off. The classic CCV system has failed. So intake is off. Got all the new parts on here. Some more parts here. But it's just at that point where, you know, these cars every 10 years needs this stuff. This is what happens. This part is also on order. That's supposed to be a vacuum tee snapped off. These things just become all brittle. These O-rings start to go bad. They start to leak. We'll clean up the fuel injectors, mass air meter, DISA valve. Told him I'd come up here, get it fixed. He had surgery on his leg. I'll put in a pic of the guy's leg. So all this stuff just ends up corroding out. This is the CCV valve. This stuff all fills up with oil. A lot of people delete this stuff and just put a catch can system in that they have to drain. But if you just service it, like this line, here's your drain back line. So I already went ahead and replaced all of these things. Definitely put a new O-ring in there. This is your oil dipstick. This has to seal, and then make sure that this drain back right here is not plugged, because you can see that outer lip. We got to get all that cleaned out. That's where the oil drains back into the oil pan, and those carbon up and plug up. So I got the new O-rings and stuff. Everything's ready to go back in. I ran out of brake clean and need a couple of vacuum lines. Clean out as best I could the valve area in here. As you can see, it's not all full of carbon like normal. Went ahead and cleaned it all out. Somebody had did a starter on this, and this line is facing the wrong way, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Somebody was in here before, and a lot of the stuff was just installed wrong, so we're going to go ahead and correct all that for him, get it put all back together. I put a valve cover, a brand new valve cover on this about 3 months ago, so valve cover is in good shape now. The oil unit right here, which is part of your power steering, always leaks down there. I showed you guys these cooling lines broke on mine as well. These are in good shape right now. They're not leaking yet. Normally you would go ahead and do the cooling system lines as well. You can see he's going to be due for it soon. You can see the corrosion starting to build up on some of this stuff. Hoses are still soft, which is good, but it's just at the point where it just needs the big service on this thing. So we're gonna get it done. All right, I had to pull the intake for a second time because I had a line pop off. So now I've got it partially assembled. I just left the air box out and a couple things so I can get to the back just to scan it and make sure everything's okay. So that's the next thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna warm it up, make sure everything's okay. It's running nice and smooth. But this is day 3 on this intake manifold.